Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of Katt the Witch. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about some of the Wiccan paths. But first of all, let's start with the basics. What is Wicca? Wicca is a diverse and vibrant quote-unquote religion with many different paths and traditions. While there are certain core beliefs and practices that are common to all Wiccans, the specific ways in which these are expressed can vary widely depending on the individual practitioner and the particular tradition they follow. So, what Wiccan paths are there? We are not going to be talking about all the Wiccan paths, but we are going to see the 6 more common paths that are there. In first place, we have Gardnerian Wicca. This is the original Wiccan tradition, founded by Gerald Gardner in the 1950s. Gardnerian Wiccans practice a form of initiatory witchcraft that is characterized by its emphasis on secrecy, ritual, and the use of coven structures. On second place, we find Alexandrian Wicca. This tradition was founded in the 1960s by Alexanders, who was a student of Gardner's. Alexandrian Wiccans share many beliefs and practices with Gardnerian Wiccans, of course, but they place a greater emphasis on ceremonial magic and the use of ritual tools, such as swords and wands. In third place, we have Dianic Wicca, which recently has been gaining more and more popularity. This tradition is unique in that it focuses on the worship of the goddess to the exclusion of the god. Dianic Wiccans are often feminist in their orientation, and they see the worship of the goddess as a way of empowering women and celebrating the sacred feminine. In fourth place, we find Eclectic Wicca. This is a catch-all term for Wiccans who do not follow a particular tradition or lineage. Eclectic Wiccans often draw on a variety of sources, including different Wiccan traditions, as well as other spiritual and magical practices. I, for one, identify myself as an Eclectic Wicca, since I don't particularly follow any of the rules of any other Wiccan paths, and I like to find any source of information and try to transform it to a more comfortable way of me performing the rituals. In fifth place, we find Celtic Wicca. This tradition is focused on the worship of the Celtic gods and goddesses, and it incorporates many elements of Celtic mythology and folklore into its practices. And finally, in sixth place, we find Sex Wicca. This is a Wiccan tradition that draws on Anglo-Saxon mythology and culture. Sex Wicca often focus on the worship of specific Anglo-Saxon gods and goddesses, and they incorporate elements of Anglo-Saxon magic and folklore into their practices. These are just a few examples of the many different Wiccan paths that are available to practitioners. Each path has its own unique beliefs, practices, and rituals, and Wiccans are free to choose the path that resonates most with them. Like in my case, it is Eclectic Wicca. Ultimately, the goal of all Wiccan paths is the same: to foster a deep and meaningful connection with the natural world, and to live in harmony with the cycles of the seasons and the rhythms of the earth.